What's up, guys? My second video today. So I'm going to be talking about the manna in this video because like 2 days ago I posted a video of my manna progress and it's been going really great. I almost have a completely legs level with the floor manna. So people have been asking me a lot of questions about like, oh, what drills do I do? What strength training? What mobility? Blah, blah, blah. How do I get this? The first thing, the most important thing, is that the manna is not at all different from any other strength move. To get the manna, you need to work on it consistently, just like any other strength move. You don't just magically get a one-arm chin-up. You don't just magically get a triple bodyweight back squat. You don't just magically get a one-arm press handstand. You need to work on that shit consistently, regularly, and push yourself. Work your ass off when you are training it, as if you worked so fucking hard this day, the next time you train it, you're going to do it. That's how hard you need to be working towards this shit. You need to take it seriously. It's not just some thing you can half-ass. It is just like anything else. Okay. That was a super passionate kind of speech, just because, like, people complain about that shit, like, oh, I'm not seeing any progress, blah, 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 blah. Well, you need to fucking just keep working on it and quit being a fucking bitch. That's it. Stop asking me for a magic pill or whatever. Just work on it. Anyway, sorry. So, there's 3 aspects to the manna. You got your balance, your strength, and your mobility. I'm going to talk about the balance first. So, what I see a lot of people do when they're training manna is they just, and what I even did myself a lot, was they pull up and they just kind of fall backward. They just pull up as high as they can and fall back. That's not what you want to do at all. You are going to fall back sometimes, but try not to. So the reason you fall back usually is because you're just leaning back too far, like you're letting your shoulders go too far back, when you need to be getting your hips up instead. So, when you're training manna, just do it slowly. Lift your legs and just try to do everything relatively slowly, not trying to do it super fast. That's pretty much it for the balance aspect. Also, for the balance, I do recommend placing the hands backwards, or even maybe a little bit sideways if that's comfortable. I prefer pointed, fingers pointed backwards, just because I can get better shoulder extension that way. I've seen people do it with like their hands like this, which is fucking crazy to me, because like being able to lift your shoulder like that is ridiculous. Like if you see what happens to my shoulder when I put my fingers back, I allow for this external rotation, but when I have it forward, the shoulder just kind of naturally internally rotates, so it allows for less extension. That's why I like having my fingers backwards. Anyway, moving on to the strength. So the strength drills I did, the first drill was obviously just trying to pull and hold a manna. So again, holding the manna, not allowing yourself to fall back. It's okay if you do fall back, just don't let it become a regular thing. So the second drill that I did, the accessory work, if you will, the not actual manna stuff, but it helps the manna a lot, which is pretty much actually kind of the manna training that I did. The first one was a manna handstand negative on a wall. That's kind of what I call it, or a dislocate handstand negative, whatever you want to call it. I internally rotate my arms and I go into a handstand on a wall and I dislocate through and I just lower as slowly as I can into an L sit against the wall, or V sit I suppose it would be. Just super slow negative. Like, not everyone's going to be able to do that drill, so I don't usually prescribe that to people. Not until you can do like a couple dislocates on the rings, or, you know, relatively shoulder width on a bar. Anyway, second drill I did, which is just probably going to be one that everyone's going to be able to do, is on the wall. I start facing the wall, hands back, get your feet up on the wall and you push your hips up and you bring one foot to your face and your hips should be as leveled as possible on the floor. It's pretty much a wall assisted manna. So nothing's touching the wall except for one foot, and you're just getting your hips you're using your foot on the wall to get your hips as high as you can, and you're just holding it. You're holding the position. And the third one is a manna lean, like a planche lean, but a manna lean. So I like to get my feet as high as my shoulders are, and then just lean back as far as I can. So arms are in the same position as the actual manna, and I'm leaning back. And in the manna, you always see people with rounded chests, so I don't try to like open my chest unnecessarily. I just keep it like this and lean back as far as I can past my wrists. That's pretty much it for the strength aspect, and the last aspect is the mobility aspect. So let's say four joints that you, well, not joints, 4 ranges of motion that you need to be very mobile in to do the manna. So the first one is the pike. Being able to do that. If you can do that, your legs are pretty good for the manna. The second aspect is being able to round your lower back. So this is one that people don't really work on a lot. So just being able to round forward, that's not really a drill, it's just an example of being able to round your lower back more. When everyone thinks of back mobility, they think of doing a bridge. But rounding and side bending and twisting are all other aspects of back mobility that people should be thinking of, but they usually just don't. The third aspect is shoulder extension. You need to be able to get your shoulders back, so do your skin the cats. And the last aspect is wrist extension. So you need to be able to get your wrist back, because this is pretty much how much your wrist is going to be bending in a manna, unless you get your hips like perfectly level, which I'm sure you'll be able to like be perfectly 90 degrees maybe. That's pretty much it, guys. That's all there is to a manna. So again, it's like any other strength move, just train it consistently and work your ass off to get it, and it is achievable. I'm not some gymnast dude. I've never done gymnastics. I didn't start training until I was 15 years old, and I started training myself. Nobody trained me. So this is achievable by anyone. Anyone can do it. You just have to work hard and keep it consistent. Peace.